Check out the title for this one, No Legs, No Problem. Today, we're diving into the absolutely incredible story of a man who took what seemed like impossible limitations and turned them into a billion-dollar empire.
You know, this quote from Helen Keller is the perfect way to kick this off. It's this powerful idea that real strength, real success, it's not born from taking it easy. It's forged in the fire of our toughest trials. And the man we're talking about today, he embodies this completely.
So, who is this man? His name is Lee Thiam Wah. And if you've ever set foot in Malaysia, I guarantee you've seen his creation, the 99 Speedmart. It's everywhere, right? A reliable, go-to neighborhood store. But the story of the guy who built it? Well, that's anything but ordinary.
To really get how amazing his success is, we've got to go all the way back to the beginning. And let me tell you, it was a life defined by trial.
Okay, just try to wrap your head around this. At only 8 months old, Lee was diagnosed with polio. It left him in a wheelchair for life. On top of that, he grew up in a low-income family with 10 other siblings. His parents worked nonstop, so there just wasn't much time for his care. And because he couldn't get to secondary school, he had to drop out. These weren't just small hurdles. These were like giant, insurmountable walls stacked against him from day one.
And you can just feel the weight of it all in his own words. He said he remembers just watching his brothers and sisters live their lives, going to school, playing sports, hanging out with friends, while he felt completely stuck. It really shows you the kind of mental and emotional battle he was fighting every single day.
But you know, sometimes in the middle of all that struggle, one single moment can change everything. For Lee, that moment was a conversation with his grandmother. This was the turning point.
What she said was so simple, but it was absolutely profound. She looked at him and said, "Your disability is only physical. It's not mental. Your legs might not work, but your mind is sharp and your hands are strong." And just like that, his entire perspective shifted. That one little conversation planted the first seed of what he could become.
So, with that new fire lit inside him, Lee started to forge his own path. He took his very first steps into the world of business, literally from his own front porch.
Just look at this journey. He starts out super small, as a teenager selling snacks and saving every single cent. By the time he's 23, he saved enough to open his first real grocery store. But here's the kicker. 5 years later, he sells that successful store. He wasn't failing. He was looking for an even bigger challenge. And that bold move led him to launch Pasarmini 99, which was the real beginning of the empire we see today.
And this, right here, is where his genius really starts to shine. See, he didn't just build a bunch of stores. He built them on this really unique and powerful philosophy, all wrapped up in that number, 99.
So why 99? Why not 100? Well, Lee explained that 99 means you're close to perfect, but you're not quite there. It's a constant, daily reminder that there's always room to grow, always a way to improve, always something more you can do for your customers. It's a philosophy of humility and just relentless improvement. A perfect mirror of his own life, right?
His strategy was so simple, it was brilliant. Step 1, he only stocked the things people actually needed, the high turnover items. Step 2, and this is so important, having grown up with nothing, he understood what every single dollar meant to a family. So he kept his prices razor thin, even if it meant sacrificing his own profits, because he was building something more valuable, customer loyalty. And step 3 was a total game changer. While big supermarkets made suppliers wait months to get paid, Lee paid them for new stock within 30 minutes. Can you imagine? The trust that built was absolutely priceless.
So, when you combine that powerful philosophy with a killer strategy, what happens? Well, Lee's business didn't just grow, it absolutely exploded. The scale of his success is just mind-boggling. Get this, by 2017, Lee was celebrating the opening of his 1,000th store. Just pause and think about that. From selling a few snacks on his porch to 1,000 locations, that is the definition of an unstoppable spirit.
This chart just puts it all into perspective. Look at this growth. He goes from just 8 stores in 1998 and then rockets up to 1,000 by 2017. And today, there are over 1,500 stores across Malaysia and even in Singapore. That momentum is just staggering.
And his model proved just how tough it was. During the 2020 lockdown, a time of huge uncertainty, guess where people went? 39% of Malaysian consumers went to 99 Speedmart for their groceries. It became more than just a convenience store. It was an essential, trusted part of the community.
And of course, the financial results are just insane. Back in 2014 alone, the company pulled in 2.1 billion Malaysian ringgit in sales. This wasn't just a feel-good story. It was a retail juggernaut built from nothing by a man who was once told he could barely do anything but sit up.
You know, Lee Thiam Wah's story just forces you to rethink what's possible. It shows us that our limitations, a lot of the time, they're just a matter of perspective. He couldn't walk, so he figured out how to fly in the world of business. It proves that a man who faced every single obstacle you can imagine could build an empire. And that really leaves us with just one question to ask ourselves: what's holding us back?